Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. I hope you're all well. Don't forget, if you're not already a subscriber, then please click the link down below. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Now in today's video, I just wanted to share with you just a little story with regards to goal setting and being very specific about what it is that you're believing for, what it is that you're dreaming for, and what it is that you're asking for. So in this video, I'm going to share with you just a little bit about how I'm able to achieve my goals. I want to share a story with you just to highlight this example, because what I've noticed a lot of is that people, including myself, when we set these goals, what we tend to do is we can be very vague with them. And I feel like the more specific you are with something, the more likely it is to become a reality. So I'm going to use the example of a house, and this is a real life example for me at the moment. So basically at the beginning of the year, I knew I wanted to move back down to London, and I was trying to figure out what part of London I wanted to live in, and I really like the Hampstead area. Now anybody that knows London knows that Hampstead is quite an affluent area. It's quite well known. A lot of celebrities live there. It's just a really nice area, and I was trying to find a part of London where I felt like I was in London but not in London, if you know what I mean. So it's not the hustle and bustle of Bayswater where we used to live, which was again a very nice part of London, very pricey, but there was just a lot of tourists. It was quite noisy, so I wanted somewhere that was a little bit more quieter, and I felt like I was in London, but there was some greenery, peace and quiet. And for me, this was Hampstead. So I took the train down to London, went and had a look around Hampstead to try and see, well, where in Hampstead, because I've never lived there before, so I didn't really know it that well. And I came across this particular street that I loved. And if you go on this street, you'll see why. The houses are humongous. They are beautiful. The road is quiet. It is just so lovely. And you would never really know that you were in London. And so I love this street. It was so lovely that I knew that I just wanted to live in this area. Ideally on this particular street, but the houses on this street cost about 10 to 20 million pounds. So they're not cheap. But I knew that I wanted to live in this area. So I'm going to drop a quick video now so you can have a quick look at what I filmed back in January. I lived in London, beautiful blue skies today, and I'm actually in Hampstead having a look around some properties. I really like this area, and I'm trying to decide if I move back to London where to be. So this is the first time I'm going into Hampstead Heath. I can't believe I've never been in here before. But apparently it's the biggest open space in London. Wow, I can't believe these houses are here in the middle of London. They are incredible, and it's so quiet on this street. Oh, but I've just seen a lady who's doing the gardening on one of them. I said, oh, how much are these houses? So, oh, they're probably about 15 million. Well, okay then. Oh my days. I think I have to send up quite a few prayers to be able to manage that. But you know what? With God, all things are possible. Okay, so as you can see, I was so excited when I went down there, found this street and thought, oh my goodness, this is where I want to be. And so what I did was I would end up writing in my journal, not every day, every few days, I would end up writing in my journal that I want to live in this street, specifically this street. And specifically, I wanted to be there by the 30th of June, 2020. So this year. So that was my goal. That was my aim. And I set a specific deadline as to when I wanted to be there as well. So anyway, obviously we know that COVID-19 and coronavirus had other plans. And yeah, basically nobody was going anywhere. And so obviously with lockdown and everything, it was, nigh on impossible to move. But just fast forward from from January to June, And what ended up happening was a property came on the market. Now this is just to rent. This is not to buy at the moment, but this is just to rent. A property came up on the market to rent, not on that specific road, but on the next road off of it. So you go to the end of that road, and then that next road, a property came up, and it was cheaper than what I was willing to pay, and it was bigger than what I was looking for. And so when I saw it, I was like, oh my goodness, it's a sign, it's a sign. And so obviously with lockdown and everything, lockdown was being eased a bit, but we still couldn't do actual viewing. So they were doing kind of video viewings and things, but there wasn't a video ready for this property. So what I decided to do, literally this property had just come on the market the day before I saw it. So I spoke to the agent, said, look, it's my perfect location. It's bigger than what I was looking for. It's cheaper than what I'm looking for. And I just decided to take it. I just decided to put down a deposit and take it. And they said that they were going to be doing a video. The tenant was going to do a video. And they sent me the video the next day. And yes, I can see now why it was cheaper than what it normally is. Because it's like, it was like in the garden. So my flat that I was wanting to move to was on the top floor, and on the bottom floor they were doing refurb and construction work in the garden. So it looked like a building site in the gardens, front and back. So it's like a porter cabin thing in the front. It was like a building site in the back. I was like, oh my gosh, that's why it's cheaper. So anyway, so I asked to see, you know, find out what was going on. And, you know, I was obviously very worried about it, but lo and behold, they actually started the building work in 2018, and they were due to finish the building work in August of this year, 2020. So I was like, wow, if that's not God's divine timing, I don't know what is. So I was like, okay, that's fine, that's amazing. But I actually ended up pulling out of that flat for no other reason than the fact that, I don't know, I had some things that I needed to do in the town that I'm from, in Rugby, and I felt like God was maybe saying, okay, I'm going to move you maybe back to there or near there, so that A, you can get the women's home done, which is in that town. B, I also had another property that needed renovating, and also it would save me a lot of money just to not go to London at the moment. So I was obviously gutted, and I pulled out of that property literally the week before. You know, I said the 30th of June I wanted to move to that place by, and I had that place by the 30th of June, and in the end I had to pull out of it. So fast forward to today, what I ended up doing was, I still felt like that flat was mine, and interestingly enough, the price has been getting lower and lower on that flat. So I would say originally it was £500 less than what it would normally be because of the construction. Then when I pulled out of the renting it, it went down another £200. And then I noticed 2 weeks ago it's gone down another £200. So the price is getting less. And so I'm thinking, oh my gosh, to live in that area with that size of property at that price is just madness. So anyway, last Saturday, I took the train down to London again just to go around the area, just to pray around the area, those streets, that flat, and yeah, just to, you know, keep believing God. And then this Saturday I did the same thing. I went down there just to, you know, have a look around the area. I came across some other streets that the houses were even bigger. They just incredible houses there. And I was really felt like this is where I'm supposed to be. This is where I am supposed to be. I am never going to be able to get that kind of property in that area at that price again. And so what I ended up doing was, I noticed that the little doorway to the garden that was having the work was open. So I went down there, The guys that were doing the construction work were there. I was trying to ask them questions, but they speak no English. So they weren't very helpful. And then as I left, I just felt like God say, just go back and, you know, knock on the door of the people that own the bottom flat and see what's going on. So I did that, and the guy graciously opened up, and I was asking him all these questions, and he said, look, we're actually nearly finished. It obviously doesn't look like it, but we're nearly finished. They've got a few more weeks of work to do. Then they're going to redo the garden. The porter cabin's going to go a couple of weeks after that. And so I'd probably say within the next kind of 4 to 6 weeks, they'll probably be done. And then, as we all know, the price of the flat that I want is going to go back up. You know, it's going to be a no-brainer then. So I came away from there feeling so disheartened, because I was like, oh my gosh, I have very little time to try and make this happen. And when I spoke to the estate agent, I asked him, why is this property not going? He said, because people can't see beyond the construction. Now, as soon as that construction goes, that flat's going to go, absolutely going to go. And so, yeah, and so I've been praying and believing God and just trying to figure out, what am I supposed to do? Because I'm kind of been a little bit torn between, am I supposed to stay here and finish off the women's home? I finished refurbing the flat that I needed to refurb. That's going to go up for sale now, or go up for rent, hopefully sale. But I've finished here. I really don't want to be here. I don't feel like I belong here. It's noisy here. It's just not me. It's just not me. And so I say all of that to say this, even though as I'm filming this video right now, I do not have that flat yet in Hampstead. I don't have it. Firstly, pray for me. Because I desperately want to move there. So pray for me that God makes a way somehow. And because I have to pay so far ahead in advance, you know, I need to get a whole chunk of money to be able to get there. Because I'm self-employed, I need to be able to put down a lot of money up front. And so that's what I am kind of like trying to figure out. How do I do this within the space of, I would probably say within the next week or two. So pray for me, people, please. But I say all of that to say this. I was very specific with God with where I wanted to be. Now, I'm not saying that you need to say the exact street, but I think a lot of times why people are not able to manifest their dreams and what it is that they want is because it's very vague. It's very vague. Like, I have a friend who wants, she wants to move and own her own house. And I'm like, well, where? Where do you want to be? You know, my daughter wants a property. I'm like, where? Where do you want this property to be? How much does this property cost? You know, I think the more you can narrow down and be very specific, as clear as you can about what it is that you want, whether it is that you want to earn more money, well, you know, is £1 enough? Because that's more money. Or are you saying, I want to earn an extra couple of hundred a month, or I want to earn an extra 10,000 a year, or 20,000 a year, or whatever it is that you want? Be specific. You know, give God something specific to work on, because he may well give you what you ask for, but it just may be completely different to what you really were asking for, if you know what I mean. So yeah, so basically I just wanted to do this video and just give you that example, because I'm hoping I can do a follow-up video to this to celebrate with you that I have managed to get that flat, and just, you know, show you how A, good God is to start with, and B, how when you are specific, it just makes it easier when you can actually really visualize where you want to be, or what it is that you want to do, or what it is you're believing for. You just kind of feel it a lot more. Do you know what I mean? Like, as I was walking around those streets of Hampstead, I was like, oh my gosh, I can see myself here, and I'm going to be shopping there, and that's where I do my local shopping, and I'm going to pop to the cinema over there. And I was really already sensing myself living there. And the fact that I kept going down to London just for like a couple of hours, just getting the train to go down there, go around the area, pretend that I live there, because I'm going to be there. I'm telling you that right now. I am going to be there. So yeah, so I say all of that just to encourage you, firstly, to have faith and believe that whatever it is that you want, you can get it. It doesn't matter how big, how expensive, how ridiculous it seems at this present moment in time. You can have it. If somebody is there for somebody, so why not you? So firstly, I want you to dream as big as you can. Just dream big. Just, you know, what in best case scenario, if you're living your best life, what does that look like for you? And then just be very clear about it. So just define it as much as you can. Just be really, really clear, because, you know, I believe that all things are possible with God to start with. And that, you know, you can have the beauty of your dream. You really can. Like I say, it's there for somebody. Somebody's got to live in these houses. Somebody's got to earn the big wage. Somebody's got to, you know, write the book. Somebody's got to work with children, or whatever it is you want to do. Somebody has to do it. So why not you? So yeah, so I just wanted to do this video just to share that story with you, and just to encourage you, to think big, because I think sometimes that's our problem. We just limit ourselves. But think big to start with, and B, just be a lot more specific with exactly what you want. So I hope that helps you. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you're believing for, what you're dreaming for. I would love to pray for you. I would love to pray with you and believe with you, because I know it's more than possible. So leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you're believing for, and I shall see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.